Welcome back everyone, Seafood Devon fan here, 8 Immortals Wing Chun. Today we're going to be talking about the secret kick in Wing Chun. Most of you who are my Kung Fu brothers out there and Kung Fu sisters who are watching this are probably thinking right away that you think that I'm going to be referring to the double kick in Wing Chun. So from here, where you have a front kick here, a chambered front kick that turns into a strong kick to the knee there. That's what most people think about when they kind of think of special kick in Wing Chun. Wing Chun, unlike a lot of other systems, does not have what you call fancy kicks in them, okay? So if you think about roundhouse kicks, spinning back kicks, Wing Chun has none of those things. Fundamentally, the idea in Wing Chun is that any incoming force that's above your waist, you're going to deal with using a hand technique. Anything that is below your waist, you're going to be using a kicking technique to deal with it, okay? So the offensive kicks, the attacking kicks in Wing Chun really don't go above the dantian area right there, your midsection, the lower part of your midsection. Most of the targets are the side and back of the knee and the groin. Those are the predominant targets for the kicks, okay? So if I'm not talking about the double kick, then what am I talking about? So this kick I call secret because it's very misunderstood, and actually it's kind of like the red-headed stepchild of kicks in Wing Chun. To the extent that, and the kick I'm referring to, okay, is the rising kick in Wing Chun. So this kick is very, very unusual. For some people, you may not even recognize it as actually as a kick. You will call it something else that's going on. This kick can either be delivered from your rear leg in your stance here, or it can be delivered from your front leg in your stance here. In a way, this is almost the most dangerous place to deliver it from because it comes out of nowhere, and that's what we're looking for this kick, okay? The rising kick in Wing Chun. So from here in this position here, all my leg actually does in this kick is it just rises up directly to its target, okay? So my leg is here. If we're talking about my front leg here, instead of, big difference here, instead of being a chambered kick where my knee comes up first, we also have this in Wing Chun. It's a different kick. Chamber kick, or traditional front kick, if you guys want to think about it that way, is for the knee to rise up, then the kick comes out from here. Okay, that's one kind of kick, very specific kind of kick. The kick I'm referring to, the rising kick, means that instead of going 1 and then 2, my kick here is actually just 1, okay? So my foot is just coming straight up to its target. So, what makes this kick so unique? What makes it so useful? So many people, when they see this kick, the first time you're going to learn this kick in the forms is in the Chum Q, which is the second form of Wing Chun. First one where you're actually learning to rotate on your stance. You're moving your different positions. This kick appears no less than 4 times in that form. So in Wing Chun, it's usually the forms are very concise. They don't repeat things. They show you how to do something once, you keep moving on because they're expecting you to train it over and over. They're not wasting time repeating too many things. In this case, okay, this kick's so fundamental, every time you turn into a position, they're having you do the same rising kick. So actually, it's the foundation of the movement of kicking is built on this kick. Luckily, okay, before he died, so we're talking here about Grandmaster Yip Man, before he died, 2 weeks before he died, he decided he's going to film, in that case, not video, he'd film, him doing the forms, also the wooden dummy. That's actually a great treasure that we have left to us as Wing Chun practitioners. So that's like if you're a musician, okay? You can go back, you can watch Mozart play one of his concertos. That's what it's like. Actually, the way he does the form is very beautiful. So you can watch it. Luckily, YouTube is an amazing resource. You can look on YouTube, you can search up Ip Man Chum Q. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The video, a film of him performing the Chum Q. You'll see him performing this kick, exactly how I describe it, okay? So many people don't like this kick. They think it's not a powerful kick. Also, it doesn't look good when you do it. So when you see him do it in the form here, he goes into his position from Chun. He just raise his leg and then go down into position here like this, okay? Doesn't look flashy. Many people, when they try to perform the form, they turn it into something else. They don't like the way it looks. It doesn't look good. They would much prefer, from an appearance standpoint, okay? They'd much prefer that, oh, it actually turns into a kick you can show, more like a Bruce Lee kick, chamber kick. That's not the kick. There was a big movement kind of in Wing Chun people. They're trying to say, oh, the reason he does this rising kick in Chun Kyu in the form he shows there is because it was 2 weeks before he died. He was so weak, he couldn't do the side kick in Wing Chun. He couldn't do the chamber kick. That's why he did it. That's total nonsense, okay? If you look at him perform the form in Chun Kyu, yes, it's before he died. The rest of his movements, everything about the way he does is very precise. You can see the way he performs the kick exactly the way he intended to do it. So let's not disgrace Yip Man and what he's trying to pass on by saying he couldn't do the kick. Of course he can do the kick, okay? Second of place, you watch him, the same day basically, he's showing his the wooden dummy form. You see he clearly performs a chambered kick, okay? He performs the chamber kick here, totally different. You can see he lifts his knee, does the kick. Totally different than the rising kick we're talking about. Rising kick, you learn for what it is. It's actually the best weapon, the best kicking weapon in Wing Chun. Better than the others, okay? Why? Because it doesn't look like much. Because it looks like nothing is there. However, just like some other treasures in the world, sometimes something does not, Lao Tzu always said, he said, I wear plain clothes on the outside, I carry jade on the inside. That's what this kick is like, okay? So, what you have to think about when you do this kick, this rising kick, so you're just rising your foot into position here. If you perform this kick in a stationary position, so if I just stand here and rise, and I just lift my leg, there will be no power to it. The trick to this kick is that when you're actually applying, it's applied through movement, okay? So, you have to see for yourself. Don't believe me, go try it. So, when you perform this kick, what I want you to do, all you're going to do, your target is going to be here. For you, you need to put on some shoes, you need a brick wall or something to kick against. Me, I have a chimney in my kitchen. That one I practice kick this same kick over and over and over again. So, when you do this kick, as you rise your foot up, as your foot comes up, okay, what I want you to try to do is you put your energy forward as if you're taking a big step. So just like you're going to take a giant step forward, the giant step becomes the kick. When you do that, what happens? Okay? Like all the other kind of secret magical things in Wing Chun, all my body energy, that energy of my putting myself, this mass into motion, is what comes behind the kick. Why is that different? Because if I do a chamber kick, okay, what that means is I'm now balanced on this leg, this knee comes up, and I snap out from here. Nothing wrong with that, okay, except for the only force from this kick has to be using the muscles in my leg. That's what's shooting this out, okay? Actually, the muscles that you can shoot out any limb in is not as powerful as your body motion. So, if you don't believe me, luckily I hope you have some access at some point to a heavy bag. Try both kicks. Try a chamber kick, or a snap kick as some people call it as well. Okay? Try a snap kick against a heavy bag. Then try the rising kick. You're going to see really interesting difference in the amount of power you're able to generate. Won't look like it. Okay? So when this kick rises up, it doesn't look like anything's happening. However, because of the force of your body behind it, you're able to generate a lot of power. It also does not appear to be as quick, okay? When I say appear to be, this kick looks like it snaps out faster. However, you're gonna see it's two motions. One motion is my knee comes up. Second motion is my leg has to snap out here. So 1 and 2, no matter how fast you do it, still has to be 1, 2, okay? The rising kick is just one motion come up. So, with this rising kick, how to use it is a multitude of different ways. I could talk a long time about it. For you, the most important thing, it's true of all the kicks we're going to learn in Wing Chun, okay? Number one thing, when you practice, I want you to try to practice. Normally I tell you to be in motion, okay? That's true when you're fighting. For now, to understand how to do this kick, I want you to practice being very still. So you can go into a traditional Wing Chun stance, you can go into however you feel comfortable, up here. Regardless of that, when you do your kick, for now, I just want you to practice, just lift your leg, and try to do it showing no motion up here, okay? So if I'm here talking to you here, I should be able to just, I'm talking to you, you see my hands here, whether it's doing this or doing nothing, saying no problem, the kick should come up. You want to make sure you can kick this, throw this kick, no telegraphing, okay? If you can do this, you're in the middle of sparring, the kick just comes up, it's incredibly, almost impossible to stop. Especially if you're kicking at your low targets down here. You kick someone's knee, you kick to their groin. If the kick just appears, it's very, very difficult to stop. Particularly, and this is how Wing Chun works, particularly when I'm engaging with something up here. So I'm engaging my opponent up here, and the kick just appears, okay? They're dealing with everything up here. They can't stop the kick from coming in. No telegraph, nothing, it just comes, it just appears, like that, okay? That's the secret behind it. So if you want to practice it, this kick I find you can practice just on its own, lift your leg like that. Really helps you have something to kick. So I'm hoping somewhere in your house you have something strong, like a chimney in my kitchen, or brick wall, wherever you do, you just practice kick, kick. Try to do 100 kicks one side, 100 kicks the other side to start, okay? Sounds like a lot, it's very quick, and you develop that kind of energy. For me, I know my kids always come down in the morning, it looks like The Shining with Jack Nicholson. I'm doing that. Napoleon, my son, always said, "Are you okay?" when he sees me, because I'm bang, bang, bang kicking. But that's how you develop. You have to do it repetitive times. For you, you keep practicing. This foot can just raise up. You don't have to think. You don't even have to think. The kick, it will kick on its own. Okay? We'll get to that point. So easy to do. When you get comfortable with it, you can generate so much power with it. Okay? This is in Kung Fu. Okay? This is like a real secret. It has actual real application. It has real meaning to it. Not fancy technique you can't use. This is the most simple kick in the world. When you see it, when you'll see how much power you can generate, you'll see actually what a treasure this kick is to our system. Okay, it's not to be ignored. So, I'm going to start with that one. Afterwards, we'll go on to the other kicks. Okay? Last piece is exciting about this kick. How I use on my entry. Okay? Actually, when I did my last full contact fight, my Sifu always recommend. He always said when you come in off the center here, you throw this kick as you step in. So the great thing about this kick, you look at this difference, okay? If I'm gonna throw a chambered kick, have to transfer all my weight here, I throw the kick, then it has to snap back. So it has to snap back. You will see people, they go back into position, they throw their kick to go back into position here, okay? That's okay, but actually it's not ideal, because there's a long time if I miss my kick where I'm vulnerable there, especially if all my weight balanced on one leg. The beautiful thing about this rising kick is I use this kick here, so I'm moving, okay? I kick, nothing there, no problem. It turns into a step, because the energy is a step. So it's much less dangerous that way. Nothing there, I just step forward anyway, okay? Not, I throw this kick, now I have to deal with coming back, getting into position again. Different scenario. Anyhow, I say to talk forever, I'm not gonna talk forever about it. Practice the rising kick, find out wall to kick, go Jack Nicholson on kick, 100 times each side. In no time at all, you'll be expert at it. All right? Thank you for joining me today. Till next time, we'll see you back. Ada Mortals Wing Chun.